Hey, what's up, everybody? ForneverWorld here today to do my review of One Piece chapter 644. And for the most part, this chapter was pretty much a lot of flashback, but I guess, kind of saw a little bit more of Hodi's past. And for the most part, I think this chapter is kind of going to be some of the last stuff of this. I think it's going to wrap up this whole thing with Hodi. Basically, we see the past where, when he was a little kid and how humans were or whatever, I guess. And he really just hated humans. He was disgusted by the very thought of them. I even think that when one character mentioned Rayleigh, how decent human he was like, that makes me sick to my stomach. And the only one he really worshipped was Arlong, because Arlong was the only one that was quote unquote carrying out the true mission of the Fishman. So he really idolized that, and that's really what made him become so hateful, and all the hatred build up inside of him. And in the end, Fukaboshi tells Luffy, basically, destroy it, turn it back to zero, basically, like, I guess, to destroy the Noah, and like, don't worry about it or whatever. And in the end of the chapter, spoiler, Luffy goes, I think, gear second or something, and or gear third with a punch, and I think hits the ship or whatever, I believe so, and it destroys or whatever in the end, or something like that. The chapter, in my opinion, it was all right. I'm kind of glad that it's finally ending this little piece. It was interesting, though. I want to say that definitely it was interesting, but to move on to something else, hopefully next, would be pretty nice. Um, Definitely a crazy experience with this whole Hody stuff or whatever. And he's really just, I guess, what you could say, like the equivalent to a racist. Everything about him. He's just, he grew up to start to hate humans, and it was just basically like straight racism. And this was a pretty decent chapter. It was just really, again, very informative, I guess you could say, and a little bit more backstory on Hody and why he is the way he is. We saw some Arlong in there, and for the most part, it was just like letting the Straw Hat crew know, just finish this up already. Let's go. And I really enjoyed it, to be honest with you. Just that we got all that out there, and the ending of the chapter, left it that basically Luffy got to stop this, and I guess it's gonna be the whole reason of why Luffy, quote unquote, destroyed the island, and the vision that, I forgot who it was. I believe Madame Shirley or something like that scene. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to play out, but it was a decent chapter overall. Nothing too spectacular. It's just mainly that it's finally wrapped up or whatever, which was pretty decent. Let me know what you thought of the chapter. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? What did you think of? Again, we saw that basically Hody is just a racist, basically, in there against humans and such. Nothing really more to the guy than meets the eye. And your overall thoughts of the chapter. But that's all I have for this particular review. Again, pretty decent chapter. Nothing too spectacular. Have an awesome day, people.